Welcome back to Gentleman's Corner, guys. My name is David. Today I'm doing a video response to Law and Smoke's 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And I normally don't do video responses to these kinds of drawings, giveaways, whatever you want to call them. And the reason is, typically I don't find them terribly interesting. However, Law and Smoke has done something unique in my opinion, and that's asking anyone who's making one of these video responses to answer a couple of different questions. And I found his questions very interesting. And so I wanted to go ahead and answer them for him. Not necessarily in the hopes of improving my chances, but just because it gives me a chance to philosophically wax on about things that I don't know about. So the first question Law and Smoke asks is, what is your guiding life philosophy? And the second is, what drew you to that philosophy and what roadblocks have prevented you from following it in real life? So let me start out by saying that I have always had essentially the same life philosophy. And only in about the last 2 years have I had a phrase that encapsulates it in a nice little bundle. And the phrase is "manners maketh man," from the Kingsman movies. And it sounds kind of cliche to say it that way, but I have had that philosophy pretty much since the time I was about 5 years old. My dad was very adamant in raising my sister and I that manners, the way that you behave and the way that people perceive your behavior, are some of the most important character traits that you can portray when you're in public. And so we were brought up very early on having a philosophy of being well-mannered, well-behaved, well-spoken in public, and that added something to our value. Now, the Kingsman movies, they take it in a slightly different direction of manners maketh man, meaning that your definite, or the defining characteristic of a gentleman is the manners that he exudes. And his ability to portray refined mannerisms. And in a sense, I also believe that as well, that your manners do absolutely distinguish you from the rest of the world. And there's been a lot of talk in the internet community for the last about 10 or 15 years that, men aren't gentlemen anymore. They're, boys in adult bodies, and they never really grow up, and they're rude, and, what happened to the nice guys? What happened to, things like opening doors for women when you're going into a store or when you are helping them into your car, things of that nature. And to some extent, I feel like those are very superficial manners. Things like, standing when a lady enters the room maybe is a little bit more nuanced, but maybe a little outdated. But I do believe, and this is kind of my guiding life philosophy, that the way that you portray yourself, the way that you carry yourself, your manners, if you will, do help to define you as a person. If you are well-mannered, then that says something about you. If you are not well-mannered, that also says something about you. And so I've always tried in all of my interactions to be very polite, very concise, very well-spoken, so that I'm not misunderstood by the people that I'm interacting with. Now, there are roadblocks, obviously, to that life philosophy. And one of the easiest is getting frustrated, getting angry. It's very easy these days, especially in the socio-political environment that we live in here in America. It is very easy to lose one's temper and to become inflamed or enraged about something. And that really seems to have picked up in the last 5 or 10 years. And I think it's incredibly unfortunate. I'm just as guilty of it as anyone. I find myself on Facebook periodically picking fights that I really shouldn't. And they're not even good fights. It's things like, me arguing about the way someone is arguing. I mean, it's stupid stuff. But it's so easy to take things personally like that, and to desire that you are right. So I would say some of the online culture has become a roadblock to really portraying manners. The increase in non-face-to-face communication, specifically written communication. I think that the art of English writing has suffered greatly in the era of instant messaging and in the era of text messaging. It's very difficult to discern attitudes and tones from the written word. And this is an issue that's been going on for decades, but it became exacerbated in the digital age. I can type something on Facebook and the reader may read it as very aggressive or very sarcastic when I didn't mean it that way. And in fact, most of the time I come across as very even-toned when I'm in person. But when you remove the person from the words, it's very easy to interpret more than what was intended. Another roadblock is just the fact that manners are not practiced in the way that they were 50 or 60 years ago. A lot of people aren't taught the same kind of manners or values anymore that perhaps older generations were. So you do come across as maybe a little bit of a fuddy-duddy or an old man. I'm only 25, but I've had people accuse me of acting like a 60-year-old. And I just kind of get past it and I kind of just brush it off. But there is that perception in today's age, if you are not conforming to what is defined as as what is modern, that you are somehow being left behind in the past. So I would say guiding philosophy, definitely manners maketh man. Put your best foot forward. Always try to be a gentleman in all circumstances, to be humble, to not toot your own horn, things of that nature. Not to the point of being self-deprecating, but to the point where you don't make it a competition in life. And then the roadblocks, definitely the lack of interpersonal communication these days, where it's face-to-face, audio-visual communication, where I can both read your body language and your tone. And additionally, just changing societal values. I think that the modern era perhaps doesn't value the same kinds of manners the way that it used to. So there you have it. There's my video response to Lawn Smoke's questions. Sir, I love your videos, and I really hope that you have enjoyed my video, as rambling and crazy as it is. But I hope that your channel continues to do well. 1,000 subscribers, that is absolutely fantastic. And I hope that you continue to double, triple, quadruple, onwards and upwards to become one of the best channels here on YouTube. So thank you for watching, everybody. For those of you who are watching this video and seeing me for the first time, again, my name is David. This is Gentleman's Corner. I do tobacco reviews, other gentlemen's product reviews from the perspective of a young person on a budget who's just kind of getting into the gentleman aesthetic, based in the late Victorian through pre-World War II definition of gentleman, and into mid-century modern. So other than that, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed the video response. Please leave your comments in the comment section below if you have anything to add to it. I always love hearing from my viewers. But other than that, guys, my name is David. This has been Gentleman's Corner. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are. And other than that, have a good one.